This is Kevin Cassis for iFold TV in association with MTK Global. We're at a press conference to announce Frank Warren's next show at the Royal Albert Hall. That's not your next show, that's the next one at the Royal Albert Hall.
That's the next one at the Royal Albert
Hall. Headlined by Daniel Dubois. Frank, tell me about the show.
It's on the Friday night, 27th of September, and Daniel will be challenging for the vacant Commonwealth title. So it's another belt that he's looking to get to add to his collection. And he'll be up against Ebenezer Tete from Africa, and he has got a fight on Saturday, and subject to him coming through that fight, Commonwealth Committee have approved it for their title.
Is this the plan for Dubois to kind of, there's no rush to kind of push him where he's not ready, just to kind of build up that European, British European Commonwealth route before going for a world title?
Actually, right respect, we have been pushing him. He's won titles before any of the other guys.
No, but there's no massive rush. He's a young heavyweight.
But he's fighting for a Commonwealth title, and and it's a guy I think who's strong. He's tough. He's a man. He's not like he's a young heavyweight. He's a man, and if he comes through that fight, I think it's going to be a real tough fight for him, but a good fight for him. And I've got every confidence in Daniel that he's going to win another title.
Can you tell us who else will be on the bill or potentially be on the bill?
Nicola Adams will be defending her title, or fighting the winner, her WBO title, or fighting the winner of the IBF title fight that takes place in a couple of weeks' time, the winner of that in a unification bout.
So let's just kind of back up with this Nicola Adams situation. Obviously, she's been elevated to status of full champion. Can you just tell us how that came about, Frank?
Well, because the other girl wasn't ready to fight her, got injured again, so she lost her title, and she was the interim title. As by the rules, she becomes the champion.
But I'm sure Nicola would have that kind of feeling that until she kind of has that fight, that, you know, even though she's been given the title, if you like, that she's, you understand what I mean? That
there have been a lot of fighters, big name fighters, who've been interim champions and become interim and suddenly become the champion as a result of certain things. Lots and lots of names over the years, and she'll be on that list. And she's at the bottom line. She's a champion. She should defend her title now.
So that is the 27th back at the Royal Albert Hall. Anyone else who potentially can feature on that card you can tell us about, Frank?
We've got a really good, strong undercard lineup, which we'll be announcing details of in the next week. But all our youngsters, all our London-based fighters. So it'll be a good card.
Frank, I want to talk to you about obviously the news we had last week that yourselves and Billy Joe Saunders have kind of amicably split. Obviously, you've had him from debut after the Olympics in Beijing. So, yeah, just talk to me about that kind of situation, Frank.
Well, it is what it is. You know, we as you said, he's been with me from the beginning. He's won British, Commonwealth, European, 2 world titles with me. He had a terrible problem. Was it just over a year ago when he had to vacate his title over that drug situation in Massachusetts when he's supposed to fought Andrade. A few other problems outside the ring, and we got him back on track and got him in a position to fight for the super middleweight title, which he won a few months ago. And we sat down and a bit, we had some talks and so forth, and it just, I just felt, and he felt, we are where we are. So, I don't want to go into a lot of detail on it, but the fact of the matter is, we just felt that, we was in a situation, both of us, where let him go and try elsewhere if he feel, that might work out better for him, and I need to be devoting more time to some of the things that I'm doing, which will work out better for me. He's a good friend. I like Bill, and at the end of the day, as I say, as we said in our statement, I'm quite sure he'll go on and do some bigger things in the ring. And I wish him all the success and best of luck for the future.
It must have been a difficult situation because, like I said, you've
been
through a lot.
Listen, no one had to do it. It wasn't a question of we had a contract, so that was what it was. So we either went forward with that agreement or not. But I didn't feel it was in our interest and his interest at the time. He didn't, it is what it is, and so we move on.
Any inklings to where Billy Joe will kind of move on to?
No idea.
With Matchroom?
I couldn't give a monkeys. That's not in my life, is it? My life is about what Queensberry Promotion does and what we're doing. Whatever Bill does, as I said, I wish him all the best for the future. Wherever he goes, that'll be his choice.
Okay. The Michael Conlan, obviously, over the weekend in Belfast was a fantastic show that was on BT Sport, obviously. You weren't there, Frank, but you obviously would have watched it at home.
I've seen it. I've seen it. And he done well. He done what he had to do in the ring, and it's good. Hopefully, you know, in the near future, we can get him and Josh in the ring together. That'd be a great fight.
How realistic is that? Because obviously,
I'm sure at the end of the day, you know, Mike wants to fight for a title. He's a hungry young man. Why wouldn't we make that fight? I'm not saying we'll make it for the next fight, but I'm thinking something that can be made early next year or next year, maybe Paddy's Day. Who knows?
That would be interesting. Yeah. Frank, obviously, strong reports that Tyson Fury's fight is set to be announced very soon against Otto Wallin on the 14th of September in Vegas. I know you're not going to sort of tell me that that's definitely happened, but that is the indication that we're led to believe.
There'll be an official announcement because there's so many parties involved in it. It has to be mutually announced. It has to be announced at the same time. But he'll fight in September, and he'll be fighting the top-rated fighter in September, as we always said. So I'm sure that's pretty imminent. That'll come out pretty soon. Who it's going to be and the actual date.
Well, Bob Arum was obviously asked the question over the weekend. He said ESPN will shoot him if he announces it before everyone else has announced it. But
well, he don't want to get shot. That hurts.
No. But Otto Wallin as an opponent, do you see that as a step up from obviously Schwartz? And
all I see at the moment is that Tyson Fury building his brand, as we said when we done this deal, building his brand in America. And building his brand means him getting exposure on ESPN, and he'll fight again in September. And I want him to come through that fight. And I want to see Deontay Wilder, who's been over in the UK, who's building his profile again. I want to see him come through his fight with Ortiz, and I want to see them two get it on again in the new year. That is where what this is all about, as far as I'm concerned. That's the direction I want to see it go, and that's what I know that Tyson wants. Tyson wants that fight. He wants to get back in the ring again with Deontay, and he's not going to sit around waiting for him to have his Ortiz fight. In the meantime, he's going to get his fight on.
But I mean, look, fans haven't got to worry about that. That fight is coming in 2020, isn't it? We know that is. It's just.
Well, listen. Let me tell you something. It'll come when they're both at a press conference and it's announced. Then it'll be on. Until then, it's not. Anything can happen in boxing. All the best laid plans can go drastically wrong because of one punch.
As we've found out this year.
You've seen it. You've seen it. You know, what a great unification it would have been between AJ and Wilder, or AJ fighting Tyson. But it ain't happened, has it? Because one punch, unfancied fighter can change the whole landscape. It can happen.
But are we expecting that Fury announcement this week?
Yeah, I would think so, yeah. I would think so.
There's been a suggestion that Joe Joyce could feature on this undercard of Tyson's.
Nothing's been discussed at the moment.
No.
Nothing's been discussed. We're working on a few things anyway.
You've got a press conference that you've just announced for Wednesday to announce Josh Warrington's next defence of his world title. I know obviously you're not going to reveal anything till Wednesday, but are we to be pleased with obviously his defence?
He's going to fight the first, the guy that we can get at the moment. Valdez has now said he's going up a weight, so that WBO title's going to be vacant title's going to be fought for. Santa Cruz doesn't want to come here. We made them an offer; they don't want to come here, and the money they offered us to go there was pretty derisory, so that's not going to happen. So we've got to just keep him busy and keep him in the mix, and hopefully. Everybody he'll get through his next fight. Nothing's a foregone conclusion for him. It's not like he shirks away from anything he had to fight. He's probably had the toughest run of British champion, world champion in Britain of the toughest fights over the last his last three fights.
Definitely, Selby, Frampton, and then Galahad.
So no one can accuse him of ever ducking anything. But we're announcing his fight on Wednesday, Cougar, and then from there, I just want to hopefully he comes through. We want to get him into a big unification fight, but we can only do that if the other guys are agreed to fight him.
But he's now kind of established now as a proper world champion. But you look at those three fights he had and how he was so unfancied against Selby, and then like I said, the Frampton Galahad fights, and he's really put himself not just there, but he's
gone and done it.
Yeah, absolutely.
He's gone and done it. You know, he was an unfancied fighter that, you know, who I really fancied, would crack it and came with us, and you know, it's been great for him. It's been great for everybody, me and everybody concerned. And I'm pleased for him. So he'll have another fight in Leeds. This on Wednesday we'll be announcing the opponent and the undercard. It'll be a good card.
Obviously, it's drawing close to August 24th. Yarde-Kovalev. All systems go ahead with that, Frank?
It is. Our man's training very, very hard. He's got a tough fight. I know Kovalev is going to be to go into the other guy's backyard in Tractor City, where he's going. To go there, it's a tough call. But if anybody can do it, he can do it. Anthony, he's a tremendous athlete. He's got tremendous self-belief. He believes he's got the tools to bring that belt back to the UK, and I think he has too.
I know this isn't really probably a question for you, but you might be able to shed any light on the situation that seems to be arising between Canelo and Golden Boy. Frank, have you kept your tabs with it?
Anyone read in the paper, that I've read what you've read, so who knows what's going on? Who knows what's going on? I'm sure it'll get resolved one way or another. One thing for sure, it ain't going to make one bit of difference to my life.
No. Fair enough. Unless he became available, obviously, Frank.
But then it might make a difference.